clear. Oh, what a perfect ball now. How about this?
Need to make his movement quite so quickly there. Just let the ball be played into the space.
Outrageously skillful. Can they get in behind them? And a goal here! Key on the ball. Oh, this is looking promising. Oh, could be. How about the cross? And a goal! It should be. A goal! So back in action, and it's on Locomotive to show invention and perhaps level the game here. Oh, big opportunity! And cuts inside. Still can put it away.
What's going on, guys? This is Lesky. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this max stamina build in Pro Clubs. In order to get the highest stamina possible, you're going to need to be a center mid. So this is going to be a box-to-box midfielder build where you can run all over the place and really use up that stamina and just sprint everywhere on the field and cover some ground. So this build is 6'7". It's a unique, fun build, and in order to get the highest stamina in Pro Clubs, you need to be a center mid build, and you have to be 6'7". That's what will get your stamina up. So make sure you do that. And then the weight, it's kind of up to you. You don't have to be 253 pounds. You could be 99 pounds. The stats will change on the skill tree depending on your weight. If you go 99 pounds, you'll have a lot less physicals. You'll have more acceleration than sprint speed. I decided to go 253. You have more sprint speed than acceleration, and since this is a box-to-box build and we're going to be sprinting a lot because of the high stamina, I felt like we'll be using that sprint speed. So I felt like with the higher sprint speed at 253, it'll just make this build feel a little bit faster, especially when we're chopping back to help out on defense and getting forward to try and help score some goals. So I went 253 pounds. It also really helps out with the physical stats, and it makes the shooting a lot better at 6'7", 253 pounds. So a max height, max weight center mid build. I don't think I've ever tried this year in Pro Clubs. I have a lot of max height, max weight builds, but never a center mid build. So this is the build. It doesn't matter what foot you are. It's really just preference. Let's take a look at the perks. This first perk is Tireless Runner. And this is the perk that gives you a boost of stamina in the 75th minute of every match. And since I'm calling this a max stamina build in Pro Clubs, I felt like I needed to add Tireless Runner to bump the stamina up even more. I was playing this build quite a bit, and then the second time I used this build, I actually didn't run Tireless Runner. I switched it and put another perk because you already have 98 stamina. It's really not necessary, but it can help, especially if you're really trying to use all that stamina up and sprint like the entire game. Then Tireless Runner can come in clutch towards the end of the game. So feel free to put Tireless Runner on if you want that max stamina experience, or you could put another perk. Like I was using Threaded Pass instead of Tireless Runner when I took it off, just so I could hit through balls better and get some more assists possibly. I think Threaded Pass is just one of the best perks in the game, especially as like a midfielder build. It is perfect. So you could either go Threaded Pass, active first touch, distance shooter, whatever you want instead of Tireless Runner if you don't want that perk. Second perk is Physical Strength. This is a bigger build, 6'7", 253 pounds. We have pretty good physical ability. Unfortunately, center mids don't have that great of physical stats to start out with, so it's not like amazing. So the Physical Strength perk will just boost our physical stats even more, boost the strength and the jumping, while also boosting the ball control when jostling, shielding, or heading the ball. So it is clutch. And I definitely recommend having physical strength on this build. Then for the third perk, I have Skilled Dribbler. This will increase the dribbling stat, and as a taller center mid, when you go up in height, you lose both dribbling and ball control. So this will help increase the dribbling and just make us feel better on the ball, while also giving us the flare trait, so you can do fancy passes, fancy flicks, fancy touches, fancy shot, anything that the flare trait gives you. It gives you a permanent flare trait, which is another reason the Skilled Dribbler is a pretty good perk. So Tireless Runner, Physical Strength, Skilled Dribbler. I think I would definitely suggest these two, especially Physical Strength. You don't need Skilled Dribbler, but it really does help increasing the dribbling attribute, which you'll see once we get to the dribbling page why I have that. And then tireless runner, feel free to take off tireless runner if you don't need it. Let's take a look at the skill tree. On this physical page, you can see this build has 98 stamina, and I believe this is the highest you can get in pro clubs. Center mids have the best stamina, and then the taller you go, the more stamina you get, which is why we're max height. So on the right side, you're going to make sure to get the acrobat archetype for the upgrades in jumping and stamina, and then make sure to get this second part right here for +2 stamina to get it to 98. And on the left side, we got some strength upgrades and then +3 stamina. And I feel like the strength upgrades were necessary. Center mids do not have that great of strength to start out. As you can see, as a max height, max weight center mid build, we only have 70 strength. Because we're so big, you'd think we'd have more strength to start out, but we just don't. So that's why we have the physical strength perk, to bump the strength up even more to probably be around the mid 80s, and then bump the jumping up as well so you can be a little bit deadlier in the air, win more of those 50-50 balls in the air, and keep possession for your team. Let's head over to the defending page. For this build, I decided not to go for any defensive upgrades. The base stats are actually pretty good. I don't know if it's because we're tall or we have extra weight. We have 75 interceptions and 81 stand tackle. 81 stand tackle is nice for a base stat, as well as the 75 interceptions, and then 69 defensive awareness and 64 slide tackle. So you can actually be a nuisance on defense with that big body and the 81 stand tackle. You can really use those legs to make some nice tackles, and you have a ton of stamina, so there's really no problem tracking back and being that box-to-box midfielder that can help out on defense and offense. So let's take a look at the dribbling page. I have a good amount of skill points on this page, and I decided to go for the 5-star skills. As y'all may know, I'm a big 5-star skills fan. And then on a bigger build like this, where you don't have a lot of pace to get by people easily, using those skills in tight situations in order to get out of them can be pretty helpful. So feel free, if you want, to just go with 4-star skills or even 3-star to use those skill points somewhere else on the build, anywhere you feel like it. You can upgrade the dribbling more, or you can upgrade some of the other categories. So on this right side, I went for the Lynx archetype, got the skills, and then we have 85 agility and 79 balance. 85 agility isn't too bad for a max height, max weight center mid, as well as that balance. And one thing I noticed with center mids this year, like if we have a 5'4", 99-pound center mid, you would have like, I think 89 agility. If we have the stuff like this on the skill tree, I think you would have like 89 agility. But if you went all the way up to 6'7", the same weight, but just taller, you would have the exact same agility. Like the agility does not change when you go up in height as a center mid, as long as you have the same weight. So being taller really isn't too huge of a deal when it comes to the agility and balance. It doesn't really affect it that much, especially agility. It does affect the dribbling and ball control. They're pretty low, 81 dribbling, 82 ball control, which is why this build has the skilled dribbler perk to increase the dribbling even more and make this build feel better on the ball, especially since we have 5-star skills and we might be skilling on some people in certain situations. So let's take a look at passing. There's no skill points here, but center mids have good base passing stats. As you can see, everything is 80 or higher. If I did have some extra skill points and could go for some upgrades, I would maybe get this long pass and short pass, and then possibly even this short pass to bump those stats up even more. We don't have a passing perk unless you take off tireless runner. Like I said, the second time I used this build, I took off tireless runner and put on the threaded pass perk, which will increase the vision and just help with our through balls. So the passing is pretty solid. Let's head over to the shooting page, where I decided to go for the 4-star weak foot and then just went for some good value upgrades. Right here we get +6 volleys and +8 finishing for 6 skill points, and then we get +9 long shots and +4 shot power for 6 skill points. And then make sure to get the 4-star weak foot. But as you can see, as a taller center mid with max weight, the shooting stats are good. The shot power is up because of the weight. We have 81 shot power, and the finishing is at 82 because we are 6'7". It increases your finishing going up in height. So the shooting stats are very nice and really helps this complete this build as a box-to-box build with 82 finishing, 81 shot power, 92 long shots, 86 volleys. So this build is pretty good in front of the goal. The only thing is that the heading actually is not that great. You have 55 heading as a max height, max weight center mid, which is very dumb. I don't know why they do that. I believe we did score like a couple header goals with this build, but it's not going to be crazy reliable because the heading actually is pretty low. So to the last page, which is pace. The only thing I left off on this page is the +2 sprint speed for 3 skill points. You can add it if you want. You just got to take 3 skill points somewhere off on this build if you really want that max pace. But we're 253 pounds, so that makes this build have more sprint speed than acceleration, which I think is kind of clutch because this build has so much stamina. You don't really have to worry about it, and you'll be sprinting a lot up and down, helping out on offense, helping out on defense as a box-to-box midfielder. So having the more sprint speed than acceleration can actually be pretty helpful for this build. 80 acceleration isn't the best, isn't ideal, but it's kind of what you have to deal with a unique build like this. So that's going to do it. Give this build a try. Let me know what you think of it. Hit that like button on this video for me, and then hit that subscribe button on my channel if you haven't already subbed. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.